our shirt on Teespring.
Former President Donald J. Trump has once again levied a serious accusation against his successor, President Joe Biden. This time, Trump alleges that pardons signed by Biden during his presidency are invalid. The reason? Trump claims Biden used an Autopen, a device that mechanically replicates a signature, to sign the pardons. The Autopen, while a legitimate tool used by many officials for routine paperwork, has become the center of this controversy. Trump argues that using an Autopen for such significant documents as presidential pardons renders them void, vacant, and of no further force and effect. He insists that the personal touch of a president's hand is essential for the validity of these pardons. This claim, made on Trump's social media platform and reiterated to reporters aboard Air Force One, has ignited a firestorm of controversy and debate. Trump's allegation hinges on the assertion that Biden did not personally sign the pardons, nor was he even aware of them. This attack, characteristic of Trump's confrontational style, casts doubt on the legitimacy of Biden's actions and the pardons themselves. The former president's accusations have become a common occurrence, often targeting his political opponents and critics. This latest claim has sparked a broader discussion about the use of technology in government and the boundaries of presidential authority. Critics argue that Trump's allegations are another attempt to undermine Biden's presidency and sow doubt among the public. Supporters of Biden point out that the use of an Autopen is not unprecedented and has been employed by previous administrations. As the debate rages on, the question remains, does the use of an Autopen diminish the authority of a presidential signature, or is it a practical tool for a modern presidency? The answer may shape future policies and the public's trust in their leaders. Regardless of the outcome, Trump's Autopen allegation has once again thrust the former president into the spotlight, continuing his influence on the political landscape and keeping his voice at the forefront of national discourse. The Autopen, a device capable of mechanically reproducing a person's signature, has been a tool used by U.S. presidents for decades. Its history within the Oval Office dates back to Thomas Jefferson, who utilized a rudimentary pantograph to expedite his correspondence. However, it was President Harry S. Truman who first employed the modern Autopen, seeking a more efficient way to manage the ever-increasing volume of presidential paperwork. President John F. Kennedy, known for his prolific letter writing, also relied heavily on the Autopen during his time in office. The use of such signature-assisting devices remained largely undisclosed until the Ford administration, when their existence became public knowledge. While the Autopen has undoubtedly streamlined presidential duties, its use has not been without controversy. On January 20, 2024, his last day in office, President Biden issued a series of preemptive pardons. These pardons were unprecedented in their scope and timing, coming just hours before the end of his term. The move was seen as a bold and controversial step, aimed at addressing potential legal challenges that could arise under the new administration. These pardons were granted to a diverse group of individuals, including members of his own family, close aides, and longtime allies. The decision to include family members was particularly scrutinized, with critics arguing it was an abuse of presidential power. All members of the House January 6 committee, who had been instrumental in investigating the events surrounding the Capitol riot. Their inclusion in the pardons was seen as a protective measure against potential retaliatory actions, and key figures who had drawn the ire of the previous Trump administration. These individuals had faced significant political and legal pressures during Trump's tenure, and the pardons were viewed as a way to safeguard them from further persecution. Among the recipients were prominent Republican Trump critics Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, both of whom had been vocal in their opposition to Trump and had faced backlash from within their own party, as well as Dr. Anthony Fauci and General Mark Milley. Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, and Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, had both been targets of criticism from Trump and his supporters. These pardons, particularly those granted to individuals involved in the January 6 investigation, were seen by many as a necessary measure to protect potential targets of politically motivated prosecutions. The January 6 committee had uncovered significant evidence, and its members were at risk of facing legal challenges. The pardons aimed to shield these individuals from what some perceived as an impending wave of retribution from the incoming Trump administration. With Trump poised to return to power, there were widespread concerns about the potential for politically motivated prosecutions and retribution. Biden's actions sparked immediate and heated reactions from both sides of the political aisle. Supporters argued that the pardons were a necessary step to protect democracy and uphold justice, while critics claimed they were an overreach of executive power and set a dangerous precedent. Trump's allegation regarding the Autopen and the validity of Biden's pardons was met with a mixture of defiance and dismissal. Members of the January 6th committee, the primary targets of Trump's ire, wasted no time in denouncing his claims. Representative Benny Thompson, the committee's chairman, characterized Trump's statement as nothing more than a midnight rant, devoid of merit. Adam Kinzinger, another prominent member of the committee, responded to Trump's accusations with characteristic sarcasm, challenging the former president to take his grievances to court. Notably, several committee members asserted that they had neither sought nor desired pardons, emphasizing their belief that they had conducted themselves lawfully and ethically throughout the January 6th investigation. Trump's claims about the illegitimacy of Biden's Autopen-signed pardons appear to hold little water when examined against existing legal precedent. A 1929 Justice Department opinion clearly states that the method by which a president chooses to deliver a pardon rests solely with the president's discretion. This opinion essentially grants presidents broad latitude in how they choose to execute and deliver pardons. The opinion was formed during a time when the methods of communication and documentation were evolving, and it aimed to provide flexibility to the office of the president. Furthermore, a more recent ruling by a federal appeals court reinforces this principle, stating that presidential pardons do not even require a written form to be considered valid. This ruling suggests that the act of granting a pardon regardless of the method of delivery or documentation holds legal weight. The court emphasized that the essence of a pardon lies in the president's intent and decision, not in the physical form it takes. These legal precedents cast serious doubt on the validity of Trump's claims and suggest that Biden's pardons are likely to withstand legal scrutiny. The legal framework surrounding presidential pardons has been designed to ensure that the president's authority in this matter is respected and upheld. The flexibility provided by these precedents is crucial in maintaining the balance of power and ensuring that the president can effectively carry out their duties without unnecessary hindrance. It also highlights the importance of understanding the historical context and legal foundations that support the president's actions. In conclusion, the legal precedents and rulings make it clear that the method of delivering a pardon, whether through an Autopen or any other means, does not undermine its validity. The president's discretion and intent are paramount, and these principles have been consistently upheld by the courts. This understanding is essential for evaluating the legitimacy of presidential actions and ensuring that the legal system functions as intended. Biden's Autopen-signed pardons, therefore, stand on solid legal ground. These legal precedents cast serious doubt on the validity of Trump's claims and suggest that Biden's pardons are likely to withstand legal scrutiny. The enduring principles of presidential discretion and intent ensure that the Autopen, as a method of signing, does not diminish the authority or legitimacy of the pardons issued. In a move that surprised few, the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank known for its staunch support of Trump and his policies, issued a statement backing the former president's claims. The foundation's argument centered around the notion that control over the Autopen equates to control over the presidency itself. They posited that if Biden did not personally operate the Autopen, it implies that someone else was effectively acting as president, thereby rendering the pardons illegitimate. This argument, however, suffers from a critical flaw. It disregards the long-standing practice of delegation of authority within the executive branch. Presidents routinely delegate tasks, including the signing of documents, to trusted aides and staff members. This delegation of authority does not diminish the legitimacy of those actions, as they are performed under the president's authority. Snopes, a well-respected fact-checking website, wasted no time in addressing Trump's Autopen allegations. Their investigation concluded that the Heritage Foundation's claims were misleading and lacked a factual basis. Snopes emphasized that presidents have employed various methods for signing official documents throughout history, including the use of digital signatures for entries in the Federal Register. The fact check highlighted that the use of Autopens and other signature-assisting devices does not constitute an anomaly within the executive branch. It is a common practice employed for efficiency, particularly when dealing with a high volume of documents. Snopes' debunking of the Heritage Foundation's claims further undermines Trump's attempts to cast doubt on the legitimacy of Biden's pardons. Despite Trump's vociferous claims and the Heritage Foundation's attempts to provide legal cover, the weight of evidence suggests that Biden's pardons are indeed legitimate and binding. The historical use of autopens by past presidents, coupled with clear legal precedent affirming the president's authority in granting pardons, creates a strong case for the legality of Biden's actions. Moreover, the reactions from those who were granted pardons, particularly members of the January 6th committee who asserted their innocence and lack of desire for pardons, further weakens Trump's narrative. The pardons stand as a testament to Biden's commitment to protecting individuals from what he perceived as potential political persecution. Trump's allegations regarding the Autopen and the validity of Biden's pardons represent another attempt to undermine the legitimacy of his successor and sow discord within the American political landscape. However, like many of Trump's previous accusations, this latest claim appears to be baseless and unsupported by evidence. The Autopen, a tool used by presidents for decades, does not invalidate the pardons. Legal precedent firmly establishes the president's authority in granting pardons, regardless of the method of delivery. Trump's attack, while characteristically aggressive, ultimately fails to withstand scrutiny when examined against the facts and the law. Biden's pardons, a decisive use of presidential power, remain a point of contention, but their legal standing appears secure.